What's good? What's good? We're
Hey,
here with season one, episode two of Real Game Podcast. It's me, Willie. I got my man Matt on here as well. It's the middle of February as we're transitioning from the end of football season, and we pretty much in full fledged basketball season now. And so we came today. We kind of talked about where we're going as far as where we're at in the middle of the year and the sports year and everything, how everything is transitioning today. I got Matt here today with us as well. Matt, what's going on with you?
hey, what's up, Chief? Man, different day, man. I'm surprised you did the podcast, man. It's too cold for you, man. I mean, I know you inside, but I know how
Man,
you acting cold, man. Thought you was
man,
gonna tuck it in today.
even today, man, I thought it crossed my mind. I ain't gonna lie to you, it definitely crossed my mind. I was like, man, I still got to do this podcast today, but that temperatures outside be making me want to shut down and do everything, man, and pretty much just kind of said I don't really operate in the cold like that. I ain't no cold weather guy, man. We can get that hot temperature every day. We can get them fall temperatures and spring temperatures, but other than that, I don't really operate from December to February. That is not my time of year, my God. It's not my time of year at all.
No,
I
nah,
hate
I can relate.
it's the nightlife. Anytime you want to get out, it's cold. It shut that down. Anything. I don't do no events in the winter. But yeah, so yeah, we'll get into it. Like I said, we transitioning out of the end of football season. We in full fledged basketball season, which is gonna pick up with um, college football. I mean, college basketball is picking up right now as they start heading into the end of the regular season and moving into the conference tournaments and NCAA tournament. Then we jumping into the NBA, which they are coming off the end of their All Star weekend. All Star weekend was this past weekend out in San Francisco, California, with the new Chase Arena, which is where I'm familiar from. My dad's family actually don't live too far from Chase Arena. They did a little gentrification to get Chase Arena out there, so it's not too far from where they at. So I haven't been to a game at that arena. I went to several out in Oracle when it was in Oakland, but I haven't been into any so far in San Francisco. But needless to say, that's where All Star weekend was this past weekend, and it was an interesting weekend. Coming into the NBA All Star weekend, this was the first time that they changed the format. They came into the game. Now I'll back up. So Friday is always the Rising Stars Challenge game, which you got new up and coming guys, and then some are already stars. If you pay attention to the game, then you'll know some of the rookie names and sophomore names in that game too. On Friday, and they have a celebrity game. Saturday moves into like the competitions where they got the skills challenge, and then the 3-point shootout, and then the dunk contest, and then of course Sunday they have the All Star game, which is kind of changing. We'll jump into that as well. So we'll pick up with Saturday, man. We got the Rising Star. I mean, not the Rising Stars. The Skills Challenge was won by Cleveland. They went against Golden State, but Golden State was actually disqualified in their second round. And I know that it was Cleveland, Golden State, and San Antonio. It was a fourth team. I can't remember the fourth team right now, but I know that San Antonio got disqualified from their first round due to cutting some corners, which is it's funny and ironic to me because me and my homeboy got a running joke that Chris Paul ain't gonna never win because he always cheating the game. And and he,
Oh,
he cheat the game like he's like borderline dirty player, but like everybody when they describe him, they always say he do stuff whatever he got to do to win the game. But if you watch him play the
right.
game, he always trying to manipulate the game instead of just playing it. He always like running and jumping in front of somebody and trying to get them to foul him real fast, or he hits you and then take out running. Then you when you get back, next thing you know, you done kind of gave him a little chicken wing, and then they call you for the foul. And you be like, bro, Chris Paul be doing some stuff that it just be like outside of normal. And so we got a running joke on how he always trying to cheat the game to win. And I always said that's why he ain't gonna never win no championships. He won't just play the game straight up. He too busy trying to manipulate it. So when it came out that they had cut, and the article says they cut some corners, and that's why they was disqualified. I said, boy, look at this. The epitome of Chris Paul trying to cut some corners and win this challenge and end up losing. And therefore, his team didn't even get to the second round on that. And they was the favorites because it was him and Wimpy, and everybody thought that they was gonna, had the skill
They
enough to
should
win
have.
it. So
Yeah, that's
that
a hell of a combination, though. Big man, point guard. Nice coming. Chris Paul a lot older, man. But I just got to say, before you continue on, Chris Paul is not the reason he don't have a championship. I mean, he don't have one, but it ain't because of Chris Paul. Not a Chris
I
Paul
used to
alone.
be, I used to be a major fan of Chris Paul, and the more I started to watching, and if you pay attention to like just other players, the way they talk about him right now, and I've seen it's a number of players now, and then they got a real
Right.
lengthy list of players that don't like to
Right.
come out and just say it on camera. I think my last person that I seen was Paul George, and he was like, bro, I used to have a lot of respect for him. He was the Chris Paul was the reason why Paul George got LASIK to help him see the basket and stuff better. But they got
Mhm.
into it during the game, and like Chris just be, that everybody say he does whatever he needs to do to win his game, but he rub people the wrong way during the game. And he be doing stuff that people can't feel like they can't come back from. They'll lose respect from. So that, of course,
Yeah, that's crazy.
Patrick Beverly don't like him. Brandon Jennings get on Gilbert Arenas podcast and talk bad about him, real bad about him.
That's
And there's
crazy too.
several players that just come out and say, bro,
Demarcus
I don't like
Cousins,
this. Say that again.
Demarcus Cousins.
Oh
I've
yeah,
heard
Cousins.
him say,
Draymond used to say it too
yeah,
before he came to Golden State. And they hated
yeah,
Chris Paul, bro. So
yeah.
it gotta
We
be.
ain't got to mention Rondo.
Oh yeah. But we ain't even got to that when he had spit on him and all that stuff. So we ain't even got to the people who done actually put hands on him and really. So it's a lengthy list of people that don't like Chris Paul. And I'm starting to see why. Like I said, I pay attention to him and I saw him come up and I loved him when he was with New Orleans and then somewhat when he got to LA and that's where it really started. My opinion of him started changing when he got to LA. Basically, and it wasn't that; it was them injuries that he would always have them soft tissue hamstring injuries in the playoffs. I'm like, bro, you come up with a hamstring injury every time they need you, every time they need you. And I like I said, I liked him in New Orleans. I really wanted him to go to the Lakers to be with Kobe when old boy vetoed that trade. I was a little salty about it, but as I've seen the career unfold, I'm like, yeah, I'm a old Chris Paul, not this new Chris Paul.
I
So
never been a Chris Paul fan though. I mean, I respect his work and his skill, but he lost me when he was in New Orleans and they beat the Mavericks. And he did Jason Kidd, and I'm talking about he was trying to embarrass him, and just the way he was doing, the way he was acting, his demeanor and stuff, towards Kidd, like this would like if this wasn't a younger kid, it wouldn't be different. Yeah, that's the kind of where it started with me. And I mean, I see it, but again, I don't think he the reason why he don't have a championship. You know what I'm saying? I think if you put him with Kobe, then you got two guys that's kind of the same. Chris Paul, just a smaller dude, so he got to do a little bit more. You know what I'm saying?
right.
He played like a little dude, like he been little his whole life. You know what I'm saying? So I get what he do, but the personal stuff, the stuff that the players talk about, I don't respect that. Coming, I respect what they saying, but yeah, that's where I lose respect from him at. You know what I'm saying? Is when the other
I
players, feel the way
your
that they
own,
do.
yeah, your own perspective from a fan. You ain't letting nobody pretty much influence your opinion of him. You sit here and gathered enough evidence from your perspective, and that's the reasons why. Hey, I'm not a fan of Chris Paul, so I can respect that. So yeah, they did that. So the Cavs ended up winning the skills challenge. Tyler Hero from the Miami Heat ended up winning the 3-point shootout, and then Matt McClung from Orlando ended up winning the dunk
Matt,
contest third time. So yeah, I I am I'm holding back on this dunk contest this situation because I haven't I watched Max first dunk contest and I had already seen his YouTube highlights of him, jumping over people and stuff. So when he got out there and he jumped over people with that, they held the ball over their head and he jumped over them, clear them, and he might double pump dunk it. That was all nice. I watched the highlights from this past. Still was the same dunk. He was just doing it over. He did it over a car this time, or he did it over three people this time. And I'm like, man, you don't want a dunk contest with that same dunk three times. But that just lets me know that the level of competition really ain't there either. Because
right.
it was guys in there that nobody had heard from either. That I didn't even know had buddies like that either. So more power to him. I know they were saying that he done made more money from his dunk contest earnings than he's made in his career from playing, in the G League and those two-way contracts that he re-signed for the Magic and the 76ers too. So I think they need to bring competition back. And we'll get into the overall states of sports later on in the show. But we can get into where competition is right now for everybody as far as the overall state of sports too. So moving on to Sunday, which was the All-Star game, they had a new format. Again, um, they picked, well, I think it's 12 people from each conference. And the first five for each team are based off votes, and then the remaining players are based off the coaches selecting them. And then so they split that up into three teams of eight. Shaq had a team, Charles Barkley had a team, and Kenny Smith had a team. And then they picked this fourth team from the winner of the Rising Stars game to be a fourth team. And it was like a mini tournament where they played two games apiece to 40. And then those two winners then went on to play the championship game to 40. Later on that night, Steph Curry ended up winning the MVP. And so Shaq's team was made up of mostly vets. He had like Steph Curry, James Harden, LeBron James, Jason Tatum. Kyrie ended up replacing Anthony Davis, which was on there. Jaylen Brown, I think, was on there as well. And then Chuck had a team of pretty much young guys, but a lot of international guys, which was highlighted by Jokic and Wemby. And then Kenny had a younger team in which they weren't expected to compete as well. They was more of the younger all-stars. And so the way they came out, they played the veteran team of Shaq, ended up playing the Rising Stars game. They had it to me, it looked like the young cats was giving it to them for a little bit, and it felt like the young cats had kind of came up off the gas towards the end and let them old cats get to that 40 mark. Because they was giving it, I know it was like 28, 25, 26, 28. It might even got to be 30, 28. And then the vets ended up taking off on them, and then they was trying to like cancel them because they had got to like 37, which they was trying to get 40. They started jacking the threes, trying to hurry up and get to 40. They ended up taking the two from Kevin Durant dunk, and then another layup. It might have been a Damian Lillard three who ended up getting them over 40. But then they ended up going to play Chuck's team again. That was made up of Jokic and Wemby and some international stars and stuff like that. And then the vets ended up winning. Steph Curry ended up being MVP. But overall, I didn't like the new format at all. I know they're trying to say that they are doing it from a competition and this is going to draw the competition out. But it seemed corny. If that's what you got to do, you playing games to 40, and I seen a graphic that popped up that even though they played 3 games of 40, it was still only 42 minutes of basketball out of those games. That's still less than a normal 48-minute game. So you got us watching this 3 different games on a Sunday, but we only getting 42 minutes of basketball because you in between games you had this guy doing like this $100,000 competition where dude need to hit a half court shot against Damian Lillard. Then you had performances. It just was. It wasn't. That was a miss. They need to go ahead and scrap that plan. scrap that plan going forward, and then basically figure out how they can bring out the best competition to get it back to East versus West, and just say, hey man, we want a competitive game. I think that's why they're losing viewerships overall because the game is just turned into 3-pointers and dunks, and then so you playing an All-Star game. I think last year they get into the 200-point range in All-Star game, so nobody's playing any defense. They're not being competitive at all. You can't make all these people who make money, millions of dollars on the court as well as off compete, and that's why the state of the NBA is losing viewership and it's poor right now too. So that format wasn't what I thought it should be. What about where you was at on
it? Let me say first, man, thanks to Stephen Castle, man. The NBA better thank Stephen Castle because had it not been for him taking over that game against the G League team, because you see that G League team did beat one of them Rising Star teams. Stephen Castle, it was up on that game, I think like 12-8 or 18-12. I remember 2-8. Stephen Castle had to come through and save the day, man. So they shout out to him for doing what he did to get his team on to get into that tournament. But I mean, it just depends on how you look at it. I mean, because from a standpoint, I mean, what you're saying is the competitive part. I mean, that's always been the issue, at least since the late 90s. There's been an issue with the NBA All-Star game. is
Mm-hmm.
the competition. You know what I'm saying? How competitive it is. I mean, I think you said it perfectly. You know, you're trying to get some guys that's already paid to play in the game that don't mean anything, and risk of injury. So I
Mm-hmm.
get when the game is back and forth, nobody's really doing anything. I think the last 2 years, partly thanks to my guy Luca, it just kind of seemed a little like nobody really gave a damn. At least they used to pretend a little bit better,
Right.
what they were doing.
In the
Now
fourth
it's
quarter.
just it's just they just doing dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Trick shots, the full court shots that they trying to do, pretty much playing horse in the NBA full court game. You know what I'm saying? I liked it when guys would go back and forth with each other. You made the shot on me, all right? Well, come on. You seen some competition in,
Yeah.
but that was kind of few and far in between, even in the All Star game. But I think the reason they changed things up is because of the lack of viewership. You know what I'm saying? They trying to just pique people interest. Adam Silver loves
Tournaments.
tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So you see how he implemented the mid-season tournament. So this is just another tournament. I mean, and I think people in general, I think he understands that people do love tournaments, and I think it's just not in this instance, but a lot of, and it could be something that can change at some point. Because anytime it's some change that happens with something we're not used to, it's always some resistance to it.
Okay.
It's some stuff that can be updated to make it better, but I'm not totally against the format right now. I like to see what else they can bring into it.
Okay. I got you. Understandable. I work with that as well. You made some great points, and I hadn't thought about it. And then, I mean, me being, I ain't saying I'm an old school guy, but the older ways coming out of the
Oh,
90s into into the 2000s, I like the competition. And when you made some points, I was thinking about Jordan's last All Star game with the Wizards and how he hit that fade away to send it to overtime, and they was competing like they didn't want to
right.
win and things of that nature.
Yeah, Kobe damn sure didn't.
Yeah, and so seeing that, and now I feel like and even what you saying coming out of the 90s into the 2000s, you could expect them to start getting it hard like mid third quarter, definitely in the fourth.
Right, right,
Because
definitely.
Kevin Garnett would make sure they turned up, and then any Kobe then would make sure it turned up in the fourth, and they would compete. And I don't watch highlights where um I'm gonna say it was 2015, and I'll have to go back and give you that exact year. But Kobe was out there trying to prove a point to LeBron. It might have been 2013 coming out for them
I remember
Olympics.
that.
He picking up LeBron 94 feet, like 7. He's making him get up
And he's
off the ground,
talking to him too. Like
making
he
him,
wanted LeBron to answer back and do something.
yeah. And he
And I
wouldn't.
think
LeBron was passing the ball, passing it.
he kept me up. I remember that. I don't know what year it was, but I remember him that challenge though.
Yeah, he was picking him up 94 feet, and it came down to LeBron even passing up a shot to go ahead and win the game. And they was like, bro, you got to
Yeah,
shoot that. Melo then was telling LeBron, you got to shoot that. What you passing the ball for? And Kobe
yeah.
was
It's an
telling
all
folks,
star game. Come on, man.
yeah. So that type of competition, and everybody love to how they holler. I mean, how they honoring Kobe and doing Mamba mentality. But I think it's a lot of situations where Kobe would call some of these dudes out and say, "Hey man, what y'all doing? Y'all ain't trying to compete." And then just go from there. So that's just my perspective on it. As Kobe, because
And
I
I
was,
want to say this. I want to say this too, though, because I kind of made me think when you were talking about the dunk contest. That's part of the problem with that too. You don't
okay,
have stars in the dunk contest anymore.
yep,
It made me think of that when John Morant was like, "Oh, Matt gonna make me get in the dunk contest," and Giannis was like, "Well, if you do it, I'll do it." But
yeah,
I hear that all the time. You know what I'm saying? After the
yeah,
dunk contest, some superstar, you know what I'm saying, pretty much just be chasing, trying to put their name onto whoever the dunk contest winner is. Because even LeBron done teased it, but never did it. You know what I'm
never
saying?
did.
So I think that's part of the problem with the dunk contest. You don't got Vince Carter's and nothing like that. Nothing against Mac McClung and his dunks, but it'd be good to see him competing against dudes that people actually know.
I think yeah, for sure. And then even if you don't come out with these most spectacular dunks that we're expecting to see. Like now, everybody done seen a lot of dunks, man. It ain't nothing you with social media and innovation. It ain't a lot of dunks that we haven't seen. But I guess that weight of an NBA or a top notch name not coming out there with just dunks that we haven't seen kind of scares them away. But and then like you said, the risk of getting hurt and stuff like that too. But even if you
I
just
mean,
put a
that makes it
name out
more
there
easy for
showed up
them.
and did regular dunks, people will be happy to still see that, bro.
Yeah. Nobody
Versus
wanted to test
you
the
never
loss
seen
to them. Though.
it. Yeah,
Nobody did. You see how many people ran when Vince Carter went for it? Even Tracy
man.
McGrady was trying to tap out. Like, man, nah. Wasn't nobody trying to get in it.
Yeah, Vince was above everybody, but this nobody has really separated themselves. Like even with Levine and how Levine and Aaron Gordon went back and forth in 2016, there wasn't no separation. We just got to a point where Levine's done end up getting him a 50. You could have still went with at one point. You could have still went with Aaron Gordon. You could have went with Levine at some point. It wasn't no separation. There wasn't a big difference in competition. One guy just won. One guy just lost. So scrap all that. Everybody just want to be entertained by the dunks, and
Right.
that's what.
And Dwight Howard. I think Dwight
Yeah,
Howard, he didn't do anything just real spectacular, but he raised the goal up, I think, on one of them. You know what I'm saying? Just to show his verts. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Something like that. A regular dunk on the goal that's raised a little bit, man. We'd be like, whoa, he got up there. We'll give, a 360 or whatever you want to do on it. That'll give you
yeah,
some props.
for sure. So now, that's where I'm at with it right there. And so, like you said, the competition, and like I said, we're gonna touch on that later on in the episode. But just the competition of everything is kind of everybody's taking a business side of it from everything now. Which, like I said, we recapping All Star Weekend and where we are with that, and that pretty much sums up that. And then that moves us into the NBA where we at right now. We're at the mid-season report. They're saying that most experts say this is when real basketball picks up. This is when the teams will start jockeying for playoff position. This is when you're gonna start seeing if them trade deadline trades are actually gonna pay off for teams, if it's gonna improve them, if it's not, things of that nature. So right now we got Oklahoma City leading the West. We got Cleveland leading the East. I want to say Dallas is eighth. They are maybe 4 games above 500. And I'm paying attention to this Dallas LA standing right now. LA is fifth. They 12 games above 500. I think they 32-20. They kick off tonight's game with a rescheduled game from when the wildfires happened. They're playing the Hornets tonight, which is the first game out the All Star game, and then tomorrow actually kicks off all the other teams too. And so right now, mid-season report, as far as what my expectations are, where I feel like are disappointments. I feel like in the East, I'm a little bit shocked on Cleveland leading it. I think they have a 5 game lead on Boston, but I can see why. I think Boston, um, after winning the title, they just know what it means to get to the playoffs and then turn on the gas a little bit, make sure all their players healthy. Porzingis has missed the majority of the season. I think he came back late December, going into January. And then the East, you got. I expected the Knicks to still be where they at. One thing that I watch with the Knicks is Tibbs. He run his players in the ground. Boy, he be having them. His starters be playing 40+ minutes every night, and then be wondering why they be broke down in the playoffs because you don't you don't ran them regular, man. You be up by 20, you still be having starters out there, or up by 15 in the fourth with 2 minutes left. He still had Jalen Brunson, Cat and them out there, Josh Hart. He do not
I
believe in no bench, man. I don't know why he do not believe in his bench, man. He done did that everywhere he went. That me, like I said, I got running jokes with homies where he the reason why D Rose knees broke down on him because he was running him in the ground then. And one homie, man, he even went so far to say, man, he the reason why Nate Robinson needed a kidney because he was running him in the ground, running him in the ground with the Bulls. And like I said, we were just joking on it, even though prayers up for Nate, he ended up getting that kidney last week. But you can just see how he run his players in the ground, bro. He do not like using the bench. So I expect the Knicks to be exactly what they are right now. They have the talent. I expect them to fizzle it out come May. Somebody gonna be hurt. Them soft tissue injuries and stuff gonna happen again because they ain't used to playing them type of minutes. And then you expecting them to take it to another level when the playoffs start. As far as the West, I'm shocked by Houston being where they are. I didn't expect them. I saw them coming on late last year because they started pushing some games and then they fizzled out towards the end. I think they was trying to make the play in. Denver is coming along. I seen Murray that had a nice last couple of weeks to kind of pick up where he had been missing. Jokic still the guy. Jokic be putting up crazy numbers, man. This guy can't even jump two inches off the floor. In the game full of athletes, he is the least athletic guy on the court, and he's the best player on it. So they let me know it don't take a whole bunch of jumping and a whole bunch of measurables to be a top guy in the NBA. Again, I'm gonna keep looking at the Lakers on this Luka trade. I know they didn't get the big man that they thought they was getting out of that trade with Charlotte, so they still need a center. They're gonna have to rely on your boy Jackson Hayes, which is a Longhorn product. I know you like them Longhorns. And then I'm gonna keep watching Golden State and Phoenix. Phoenix looks like they done quit on their season. Kevin Durant got in his feelings about being in them trade talks. It ain't really working out with him looking, and they can't. And the crazy part is that it made business sense to get up off Kevin Durant, even though he got in his feelings. Nobody's gonna take on Bradley Beal's contract because he got a no trade clause in it. He do $52 million again next year, and another 50-something million again the year after that. Nobody ain't picking up that, brother. Ain't.
Shout out to
So
Bradley
you're
Beal,
not
man.
having a trade clause, and then I think he might be down to 1 year after this. As far as Kevin Durant, people will take that contract on, and you still Kevin Durant, so you can't get in your feelings about a business decision that they need to make. They done tried every avenue to get rid of Bill. Nobody ain't gonna take that, or he not gonna waive his trade clause to go to the team. So it's a wrap on that. So as far as improving that Phoenix team, they're gonna have to come up off of Kevin Durant. It's just business. And then, like I said, Golden State, I don't think they got the pieces to compete, even though Draymond came out talking about they winning the championship this year over the All-Star break. I just can't see it. They ain't got no big man. They actually got a tiny Tykes roster, man. They roster is 6'9" and under. It's like they allergic to big men or something. They will not go get a big man to say they lie, bro. They do not want no big man in Golden State for some reason. They got like a little league roster. They only want guards and forwards and expect them to compete against Joker. So they ain't got no, like, if you got to go against Dallas, Dallas going to out rebound. And by the time Lively, Gafford, and AD get back, if they get back in time for playoffs, if they ever had to play Golden State, it's going to be a slaughter because they have no big man whatsoever. Then you don't put Clay on the team too, who knows Golden State system. So in and out. Kyrie be getting the best of Steph at times. He actually got the best of him last week when they played out here. So yeah, I just can't see Golden State winning them. So that the West is gonna jockey, but the teams that I'm most disappointed in are the West again, Golden State, Phoenix, and then of course the 76ers in the East. I think Embiid holding them back. They might have to move up off him too. Where you at on it though? How do you feel about where we at so far?
So look at the West. You got the Lakers, like you said, at 5, Mavericks at 8. You got Golden State at 10. The
Mm-hmm.
difference between the Mavericks and the Lakers is 2 games. Difference between the Mavericks and the Golden State Warriors is 2 games. So it's still from 5 to 10, still pretty tight. You know what I'm saying? You can go either other way. I'll be honest. Shit, I'm disappointed in the Mavericks. Shit. We talking about disappointment. We
I
was
got
just in the finals last year. You know what I'm saying? We weren't the number 1 seed. I think we were number 5 then too. But the disappointment ain't just naturally in. You understand the record because of the injuries, but it's mainly because of the audacity to trade your guy like they did. But I get into that a little deeper later. I expect to see teams like San Antonio rise. I like the trade that they did with De'Aaron Fox, adding him on, getting a point guard. You still got Chris Paul coming off the bench, I believe. Stephen Castle, who may be running. Who knows? But he's probably leading vote getter for Rookie of the Year right now.
yeah.
So
I
yeah,
see that.
it's I like the Spurs, and they may come from somewhere. Yeah, I believe I'm with you on the Phoenix Suns where they stand. But it's just wasn't a good fit, to get those 3. They gave up a lot, and you couldn't get anybody to come in for the vet minimum to just play their role for them. You know what I'm saying? Like a Haslam or something had to do for Miami, even though he wasn't on the vet minimum. But when they had the
Yeah.
big three, you still had to get your Ray Allens and stuff on the team to go with
Mike
what you
Miller.
got. Yeah, exactly. Mike Miller's, Mario Chalmers, dudes like that played
Yeah.
a pivotal role in what they were doing. Norris Cole. Um, but so I'm looking at them Kings. I'm thinking I don't know what the Kings gonna do. DeRozan and Levine and work in Phoenix. I mean, sorry, Chicago. But maybe that was just some, the system that they had over there. Not really sure. I do expect the Nuggets to be, in the running and
Yeah.
being. Just depends on who they run up against. But really, I mean, the team right now is in the West is the Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
Young team. They got their experience last year. Took that loss to the Mavericks. I'm sure they learned a lot from that. Picked up a couple pieces to go with it. Forgot my guy name. They picked up from the Bulls. They did a good job with LeBron and the Lakers. Whatever his name is. But so yeah, the Thunder may be. I mean,
Oh, you talking
we'll
about
see.
you talking about Alex Caruso?
So there you go. Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah. Alex Caruso. So yeah, they picked him up, and they look good though. I mean, we still be on we still on them. I think we done beat them every time we played them, maybe 3 out of 4 times. But
Right.
still, course, you got to look at it as a threat. And of course, Memphis, man, I'm always wondering when Ja gonna be able to take his team to that next level. So that's what I'm looking at in the West. The East, I mean, Cleveland was number one last year too. I mean, so I'm not really sold on that right now. I need to see y'all in the playoffs and see y'all do something in the playoffs, and have that same basketball success that you have in the regular season. So I'm not really even going to go there with them. Boston, um, I think Boston, like you said, man, they know how to put it on autopilot until it's time to go into the playoffs. Then you just go ahead and cut it on.
I got
Definitely, they played more games than the Cavalier young guys have, so they have to take a little bit more breaks. Over the last year or so, them going all the way into the finals. So I mean, and that's something that the Spurs used to do all the time. Make sure they get into the playoffs and cut it on in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think Boston will still be the team to beat. I don't really see much happening in the East, man. It's not really much competition. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, everybody it looked kind of bad. It's top heavy, and mainly because of Boston. You got to respect Cleveland because of their record, but Knicks too. But you
Yeah.
go from the I mean, yeah, Pacers, good solid team, good coaching. I love Rick Carlisle coaching when he get a team that kind of fit what he want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Milwaukee, um, who knows how this gonna go? And I think Detroit for sure you got to respect. I like the basketball they've been playing over the last month or so. So they may end up surprising somebody. Right now they'll be playing the Knicks. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I like K's growth. I like the Pistons' growth. I don't put much stock into them because I know they ain't been in the playoffs yet, so they ain't none of them not really played no playoff basketball. At least they
Right.
stars like Thompson, Cade. I like. Well, I ain't gonna say I like it. I find it interesting seeing Isaiah Stewart take on this old bad boy role as if he's still playing. He try to fight everybody in the league. He get into it with everybody in the league. From there. Um, and then I'm interested in him. The Hawks haven't really showed me nothing. So like you said, it's top heavy in the East. I didn't get into and I once you brought it up, it made me think about this is where um for the West, this is where you're gonna start to see who's a real man and who ain't for these two teams and these two players, John Morant from Memphis, Anthony Edwards in the Timberwolves. They both
Right.
in maturity seasons, showing how mature you are you a leader, growth seasons. We know y'all got star power, but where can y'all lead y'all's teams at? And and Ja both are expected to lead their teams in the playoffs, make to playoff runs. Y'all franchise type players. We saying y'all top 5 players, top 10 players in the league. Where are y'all gonna lead them to? And so these are seasons to show growth for both of them. I actually like Memphis. I like the pace that they play with. They actually will run you out. If you come in there with an old team in Memphis, you're gonna get run off the floor. They are pushing the ball. They push the ball on make or miss, man. They get back on the make. Yeah, it'd be a fast break on the make. It'd be a fast break, definitely on the miss, but I done seen them fast break on some makes. And I'd be like, bro, they pace is ridiculous. And underrated, to be honest, and I seen him lock up who did I? He was embarrassing him. It was 2 weeks ago. Scott, I'm mentioning Scottie Pippen Jr. He was embarrassing Dame Lillard when the Bucks went in there 2 weeks ago. Dame didn't have nothing for Scottie Pippen Jr. He ended up with like 9 points, 10 assists, 5 steals. He picking up him and they backup point guard. They was picking, and Ja wasn't even playing this game. The Bucks end up losing this game because of Scottie Pippen and they backup point guard for them. They picking up dude 94 feet, making them turn. He didn't have nothing from three. It was starting to get embarrassing because I remember in my group chat, I remember saying, man, is y'all watching Scottie Pippen Jr. embarrass Dame like this? And it didn't show up in the stats. You know, like I said, he only had 9 points, but he was picking them up. Now that he was making them turn it over, dribble off his foot a couple times in the fourth quarter. And they couldn't get into their offense because he picking them up, making them turn. By the time he get down flow, you only got 10 seconds left to really get into your offense. So they getting a bad shot. And I was impressed by Scottie Pippen Jr. doing this thing for Memphis, and he done did it several times. I done watched it now, and so I was impressed by that. And then I don't know what to expect from the Timberwolves and Anthony Edwards. Like I said, Ant is when Kevin Durant retired, Ant probably gonna be my favorite player because I like the way he plays. But he's also needs some to refine his game on a maturity level, be able to take his team to the next level. Um, and we'll see how that go. Right now, I don't know if he's ready to mature wise because he's still a young player. You talking about a player who coming in who lost both his parents, so who's really helping him mature and being in this era outside of sports, and then basically just go from there. So we'll see. So yeah, that's my mid season report on
Quick
that.
question:
Go ahead.
which one do you think is going to be able to lead their team to the championship? Is it going first? Is it going to be Ja? Is it going to be or is it going to be Shea Gildress?
That's a very good question. I watched Stephen A. call out Sam Presti just yesterday on him building these great teams, but they never get over the hump. When is Oklahoma City actually going to win something? Out of all these teams that he done put together, he named off numerous All Stars and All NBA players that Oklahoma City done had. They ain't never did nothing from Kevin Durant to Harden to Westbrook and Ibaka. Then when they started making them trades and they got Kevin Martin back. Then they got up off of some more people. They ended up bringing Paul George, Victor Oladipo, Carmelo. Then you're doing with Shea. You done had numerous All NBA players, and y'all ain't never really did nothing. Y'all got the one finals against Miami and never got back. So between them, to be honest, I don't know. I have to see it with my own eyes. I don't know if either one of them are ever going to make it. I mean, just to be honest with you, I don't think either one of them are ever going. It's always going to be something they like. I don't know if it's the lack of star power or politics behind it or something like that. But I don't think neither one of them are going to ever make it at the locales they at right now. Like Memphis, I like watching Memphis, but when it comes to Memphis in the playoffs, I feel like they'll run to a star that is just brighter at the moment. Like when Steph came through a couple years ago and he was brighter at the moment, then they'll end up winning the championship. Last year, Luka came through Oklahoma City and he was just brighter than Shea was last year. And so I don't know if they shine. They stars never shine as bright as they need to shine in the moments. And I don't know if it's the city, if it's the locales. I just don't know. So I can't even say neither one of them is gonna win. To be honest with you,
I mean,
even
just get their team there. You don't think none of them can get their team to the championship? So if I got to pick one, I'm going with Ja.
okay,
You know,
why?
I got to pick one.
Okay,
Um,
why? Give me your facts.
um, I just see. I was kind of torn between him and Shea. You know what I'm saying? Because I like both they game. I mean, I like Anthony Edwards too. Like, damn, I like all three of them. Damn, I can't even say that. But
Yeah.
they just seem to. I don't know. Ja just seemed to me. I would pick him because I think I've seen Memphis win in the playoffs before.
Mm-hmm.
They were a little bit younger last year. Of course, he had his little downtime, but
Memphis
I
beat
just think
Tim.
their team is built better to do something. You know what I'm saying? That team is built better around him.
Right.
And I don't think they're as fragile as Oklahoma City. Anthony Edwards, to me, I need to see him understand his role or get in better shape. You know,
Okay.
you wasn't your talent that hurt you against Dallas. You just tapped out. You know what I'm saying? You started having times where you just looked fatigued. You know, you were gassing yourself out. And you young, you know, you overexerting yourself trying to cover Kyrie and be the primary ball handler, or not really the ball handler, but the scorer for your
Mm-hmm.
team. You know, I mean, it just showed you wasn't on that level right now. But I got to be able to see that for I believe it. And I'm not really convinced. I think me and you had a conversation before. I really believe the Timberwolves, even though I like Julius Randle, went back with that trade. You know what I'm saying? They didn't move forward with that.
Yeah, and I thought that the Timberwolves needed to get off of Cat even after last year. I honestly thought they would get out Cat for Kevin Durant. But Cat for Julius Randle was a step back. Like if you was gonna get out Cat, you need to come out with somebody better than Julius Randle. Like I don't know if he really him and Ant's
Do you
personality.
think so?
And then you made some definitely great points about Ant um and I'll end it and I'll close it on this standpoint. And when you're talking about Ant, I remember watching The Last Dance with Michael Jordan, and there's a segment on there with B.J. Armstrong talking about Jordan once he learned how to. Everybody else playing the game, and Michael Jordan just know how to win the game. And so you pick your spots, you control the pace throughout the game. Everybody knows you can put your foot on the gas pedal whenever you need to, and if you just didn't make that shot at the end of the game, then you lost that game. But just being able to manipulate the game and control it, I've seen LeBron do it. I've seen Kobe do it. Ant need to study that to learn how to, like you said, you run your mouth and saying you want to pick up Kyrie. Now you're overexerting yourself. You didn't need to do that. You didn't have to call
Right.
out Kyrie. Kyrie was gonna be Kyrie regardless if you was on him or if somebody else was on him. You can't stop a man like Kyrie. You just stick to the game plan. Know when you need to step up and those moments present themselves. You need to be put in that moment enough to know, hey, it's presenting itself. I need to put my foot on the gas, not go try to snatch it or make it. Because you're not. Once you caught that Kyrie, it was pretty much over at that point. Because he a vet. You only been like, he done been to the finals, won a championship. This man in Game 5 of that 2016, him and LeBron both had 41 points apiece. What you doing, man? This guy knows exactly what he doing. You calling out a guy that
Yeah.
was on that 3-1 team that came back. So nah, you didn't need to do that. So yeah, in a maturity standpoint, I think Ant is last, which is probably making last in, if we're asking this question, last in getting a championship versus Ja, who then had to go through the ringers right now that might have actually prepared him to be a little bit more mature than Ant right now just because of all the stuff he done went through off the court. And then Shea just a mature individual off the court anyway. I actually seen Shay just fired his agent, and he on the heels of getting that super max, so he can get out that money to himself. He representing himself now. He ain't even getting no new agent, so that's another
Savage
mature.
too, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, so yeah, that's what I meant. So that just recapping the state of the NBA. We'll end that one by just saying it's going to be an interesting back half of the season, and it's a lot of questions that need to be answered from a lot of different teams, and the only way it's going to play out is on the court.
Right on.
All right. So, just overall, and like I said, we transitioning out of football season, and this is a time where people are going to start drafting. We just had, I think within the last 2 weeks, we had college kids sign their letters of intent, and then we coming out the transfer portal, and then NBA All Star and things of that nature. The overall state of sports. And, excuse me. And then, man, you get into this a lot. Where we at right now with sports, as far as where the direction of it is going. I done sat down and thought about me. Like I said, we talked about it being an overall situation. Everything is money driven. In life right now is a lot of money driven situations too, and that is a deep seed in these sports. And once you start making everything money driven, of course, the administration, the heads up, trickle down into the players because they feeding players into the money, and now it's making competition die out. Everybody is just worried about how much money they can make right now, how much money you making off of it, how much will I get. This starting coming from high school, going into college when them NILs deals set in, which takes away the respect for the game and love for the game for me. Because if you stop playing it for the love of the game, and if you just playing it for the money, then it ain't gonna. You can see it right then that I'm just playing it for the money. I'm making business decisions all throughout the game, all throughout the
Yeah.
season. Where they coming out college kids or football, they only playing a few games. If they ain't playing right, they want to save that rest of the year for red shirts so they can transfer in to another school, which again comes with another NIL bag. Versus red shirt used to just mainly mean, hey, I'm a red shirt, get stronger and faster, and improve myself. Give me some time to improve myself mentally and physically. Now red shirt just mean, hey man, don't play me no more so I can get up out of here and give me another bag. And it ain't got nothing to do with if we ready to play or we working on our game on our body right now. So that takes away the love for the game, the drive for competition. If I'm in a second and third string situation on a team, most of those second and third string players are going to transfer out of there to teams that done promised that they could play with them prior to, or transferring down versus just saying, "Hey, I want to work hard to make me a starter here at the university I came to." And that again is trickling to the game. You can just see it all over. Nobody's playing it for the love of the game. Everything is a business decision, and I think that is why sports are at a. For me, it's hard to watch right now, especially the NBA. Everything is up and down, shooting threes, dunks. This is what they teach them in AAU. AAU, of course, is just trying to get them to get the bag now. Especially you can openly pay kids in high school now too. So we're just gonna do what we can do to get highlights, to get shoes and sponsors, get us paid. Hopefully that'll get us to a Power Five. If not, we can go somewhere else. We don't even need you don't even need Power Five to get to the NBA no more. Whatever. You got the best agent to hype up your videos and make it social media. Somebody will be an executive or a GM will be a fool to look at them and take it and bet their money and their career on that and see what happens. And the same thing for football. So I think the competition has died down, which is making it a hard watch on all fronts right
Yeah, now I can't disagree with the competitive part of sports, um, especially when it comes down to the transfer portal and the way that it's used. Um, instead of competing for a job, all throughout the season, you don't win it in spring, their portal open up, they bouncing. You know what I'm saying? Instead of waiting for an opportunity, they may come. Like how it was, at a time before all this took place. The transfer portal became what it was. You pretty much had to make a decision. Same thing that Cam Newton was faced with. You know what I'm saying? He didn't like what was happening in Florida, so you understood, that part because he felt like he competed and still wasn't getting opportunities because of who was in front of him, Tim Tebow. So what he had to do was go to a different school, then come back in, you know what I'm saying, and get it.
now. Okay.
That's how it was, and that's kind of made people think, am I willing to go back? Is it really worth it for me to go take this downgrade just to come back up? You know what I'm saying? Now you don't even have that in your way no more. Dudes getting recruited off of rosters that are kind of communicating, or letting them know what opportunity may be. So it's killing the competition. Again, it's the transfer port I'm talking about. For the
Right.
most part, I'm not against it totally though. It's just when it's used like that. I mean, but it's there. I do feel like them having to sit out a year or go to JUCO route was too much.
For
Hey,
sure.
coach is leaving and they can leave at any time, then I believe there should be a door where a player should be able to leave too. They tell them, well, you committed to the university. Well, the coach signed the contract with the university and he don't have to keep his contract. Why were y'all making the players be tied down to a
True.
scholarship? They have to renew every year. So yeah, I didn't get that. And the real old school dude to tell you, well, your pay is your education. That was what the pay was. But I'm not here. Let's keep it a buck. Everybody not in college for education. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's just there. If there feels an opportunity for me to go play football and not have to go to school and still get looked at, then I'm sure majority of the people will take that route. You know what I'm saying? So that
I can.
wasn't a good case for me when people used to say that. But I'm not against the transfer portal totally. I just when it comes down to dudes leaving they freshman year because they got a junior in front of them or another freshman. I mean, shit, compete. I get your senior year, you ain't like, hey, I got to make a move. Or your junior year, but y'all don't even give it. They don't even give it an opportunity to kind of see what's going to happen. Injuries ain't your opportunity. You're a quarterback, a couple of interceptions, or you're a running back, a couple of fumbles may give you your opportunity to do what you got to do. So yeah, it's kind of sad to see. Again, I'm just mainly speaking about college sports.
I
With
got you.
that, um, yeah, it is just the competition part. That is, but I do want them to be able to get paid for their likeness. These
Mhm.
colleges are making billions, millions. I'm not exaggerate millions off of players, billions overall off
For
of all
sure.
the players that came through. And these dudes don't get nothing. They Heisman Trophy taken or fined or they lose a season. Then but they were getting money based off their own likeness. So I'm glad that came. I'm glad they opened that door up. But yeah, the transfer portal to me is what's killing the competition. It's not really the money, but I get what you're saying. Dudes are just doing stuff for money. But I think you
Mhm.
can love money and love the game too. It's just about are you able to have that balance? You know what I'm saying? Like, because if you
Right.
love the game enough, then that money you're gonna make more money. You know what I'm saying? Whether you transferring or not. I'm sorry. If I had that talent, I'll come up every year and see who's gonna pay me the most. You know what I'm saying?
I,
I'm a missionary. Let me be a
yeah.
badass quarterback. Uh, I don't know. I can't think of nobody right now, but let me be Mike Vick in college this summer.
Okay.
I'm coming up there
Yeah.
next year. I'm paying the most. Y'all really okay? I'm going back then. But yeah,
I got
I
you.
would definitely take advantage of it because, yeah, there's no loyalty in sports anyway. From ownership to your athletic directors to your coaches. No loyalty in it anyway. So right now, how I feel, be a Deion Sanders or LeBron. I used to be the dude say I used to love the Michael Jordan code, but now I don't know if that's the right way no more.
I got
You
you.
sticking with one team.
Yeah, I can agree. It's nothing that I necessarily agreed about or disagreed about. The transfer portal is something like I said. I think that overall college, when we're sticking to college sports and the competition there, I think they needed more of a. To be honest, I ain't gonna say the NCAA needs to do it, but somebody needs a governing body to regulate some of the stuff they're doing. Maybe, like you said, limit some of these transfers. Maybe you got a
Right.
two transfer max. I honestly think they
Right.
need to
Yeah.
that NIL money through the school too, and say it's a max on that too.
I
Say
agree.
we all get, hey, everybody on here gets a certain amount of money. That way, when you came to this school, this is how much money you guaranteed to get for paying for this school. That way we can just get to the football. We ain't got to be negotiating back end money in the middle of the season. I remember, I want to say it was UNLV quarterback quit on him in the middle of the season because he didn't get his NIL payment. And he was like, "Nah, y'all promised me another 280,000. I ain't got that. I'm done." Where we at right now?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So that part, even Florida State's basketball team, where they suing Leonard Hamilton right now, money he done promised them that they didn't get. So you know what to
I heard
expect
of
when
it.
you come into a school to say, "Hey, this is how much our basketball team is making at NIL." This is the cap amount you can get. Everybody's gonna get that amount. Cool. Like I said, if you funding it through the school, cool. Everybody know what they there for on the money side. Now let's get to the sports. Let's get back to the education. Let's get back to that versus it just being a free agent pool. Everybody, people getting millions of dollars because they're the quarterback, the starting point guard, and stuff like that. And so that's how I feel like you need to regulate that money for college athletes. And then again, you separate yourself from college to the pros. Once you get to the pros, then it's free, whatever. You got agents, sports endorsement deals, and stuff like that. But we're not that way. We canceling two birds with one stone. Everybody getting paid, but then you got some regulation for college, and you separating what it is to be a college player and a pro player. And now we can get back to love for the game, and they know, hey, I'm doing this so I can go get more money from the NBA or the NFL. I'm
That's
working
it.
harder to get there versus I'm just here to collect however much money I can get right now. Because I seen Penny Hardaway saying his players, they know they ain't going to the NBA, but they try to do whatever they can to make as much money they can make out of this NIL deal before their eligibility is up. And they using that to funnel the rest of their lives with this $1 million of money. They're making more from colleges. I mean, the coaches. So regulate that part and then make it a separation between college and NFL. Because right now, it ain't really no separation between NFL and or the NBA and these colleges and stuff like that too. So overall,
Mm.
it done got and it started a few years ago when they started doing the conference realignments, which was all money driven, and then it went downhill after that when they said it was hey everybody could get NIL money too. It just and now we just into a pit of where we at right now. I laugh and I tell my son all day when he get outside and play college ball, he gonna be laughing at me knowing that I went to college and played for free. Like, bro, they ain't pay y'all nothing. Dang, you did all that and you didn't get no money. I was like, man, they ain't pay us nothing.
They're not getting nothing shit. Nothing that's known anyway.
For sure.
Here, yeah, you're asking to get banned. But I think the separation between college and the pros, I mean, I think it kind of goes back to what you're saying as far as the money, because the money ain't you want to make money while you're playing college, but the
For
money
sure.
that you're making is not the all end all. Like you don't want it to end there. So me being a UNLV quarterback that's not getting paid, I'm gonna be pissed off and I'm gonna go to the news and all that. But me thinking about my future, I'm gonna keep playing. You know what I'm
Quick.
saying? I love playing football too. I can't see myself in the middle of the season quitting on my team. You know, I don't care what the record is. I ain't even gonna lie to you because I'm just that optimistic. I'm always looking, all right, well, we done lost 4 in a row. We're gonna go win these next 6 then. You know, some type of way. I'm gonna get myself ready to keep going. But yeah, that I mean, I get it, I guess, but I'm just not built like that. You know what I'm saying? It ain't the cloth that I'm cut from. I would have played because I played for free since I was 19 years old. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really fucked up about excuse my language, but yeah, it ain't gonna make me quit the game that I love. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm really trying to do. You know, I wanted money to everybody wants the money in the pros, but when I played football, my ultimate goal was to be known as one of the best or
Mm-hmm.
the best at whatever position it was at. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, that's what I wanted more than even the money was people to recognize me as somebody that was one of the best.
Right.
And that drove me to compete. It drove me to want to compete against the other people that may have had that title or other people thought were better than me. If I seen where I was lacking at, it's gonna drive me to keep on trying to improve there. If I see faster than me, I got to get faster then. You know what I'm saying? Or I got to learn how to adjust to somebody that's faster than me, or whatever it is. I got to work on me because the ultimate goal is to be known as not just to be rich. I mean, of course, you want to. You're gonna be the best. You're gonna get the money because you're the best. So yeah, that was my drive. I mean, and you don't see that a lot.
And that's something we can probably touch on in another episode as far as competing, because I don't see that and just your mindset when competing. Like I said, when you competing against people on the field, one of the things that I don't like is that because I find it hard to do. Say me and you just played a game and I just lost. It's hard for me to be kicking and laughing with you right after the game after you just beat me because I'm so entrenched on beating you. I need a little bit of time to separate myself from the game versus friends. And right now, when as soon as they finish, whatever the score is, you could just blow us out, bro. They go over there and dap them dudes' hands up and get to laughing and
Boy,
joking.
yeah, jersey
Oh,
swapping and shit, boy. But
yeah,
you
I don't
know,
know.
you know what to say. After I lost a game, I'm not man say if we're gonna do anything, we're gonna fight. But I'm gonna be a good sportsman, you know, we're gonna hit the 50, shake hands, whatever. But I'm looking for a reason to pop off. Cause yeah, I ain't with all that. Hey, what's up? Now we can do that later, man. Right now, and then let's have now we hey, what's up? You know, we can keep killing all in, but if I lose, no,
Exactly,
no.
exactly. They do it every game. And as soon as the game is over with, they slap hands and be laughing, put their hands over their mouth, get to joking. I can't. It takes me a little minute to come out of that competition thing because I'm trying to do you in, and that's where like I said, that might be another topic of conversation. Just
If
overall,
we can't
yeah,
compete fully against you unless I gotta have when I compete, I would like Jordan. I would create stuff to be mad about or to
exactly,
go at you on, you know what I'm saying? Or a player on the other team, I just don't like him because this, that, and other. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get his ass. I had to have that. I wouldn't go, I couldn't. That's what made me that edge, you know, when I'm competing, help me get what I wanted to get out of me. I couldn't be
right.
me if I'm out here being, and I know this my friend. My last year playing ball at Molina, yeah, I got my ass, we got our ass kicked at Molina. Anybody that see this, you know. So yeah, you can laugh and say whatever. I didn't go to Molina every year, so I didn't get my ass kicked all throughout high school. But my last year I had to go so I can graduate. And yeah, I would play once we got out of playing Richardson Berkeley and Naaman Forest and all them, we was competing in the district, and whether they was on Sunset, Kimball, Carter, and I transferred from Skyline.
Okay,
North Dallas was the only school I didn't really know anybody from, but I did know their receiver because he was always in the paper and leading
yeah,
receptions and stuff. They stole a lot of screens and shit. But
got
those teams, I'm competing against people I know. And all the teams beat us. And after the game, I wasn't hugging them dudes or nothing like that. Even
you.
my old coaches and stuff.
I don't want your
I had
jersey.
old
I
coaches
hurt me.
at Skyline. Yeah, we don't want to do that. We can link up some other time. Right now, I'm pissed the fuck off. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, I ain't embarrassed and everything. So I'm not used to being on the losing end of nothing. So I don't. Yeah, it just was a. Yeah, I'm like you though. That part of competition is gone. Even when
I don't like
I'm
it.
gonna try to wrap it up. But I jumped on Instagram one day and seen Michael Parsons at the Minnesota Timberwolves Dallas Maverick game. He was
Mm-hmm.
going to be there. I thought he was there to root on the Mavericks, but the Timberwolves won that game. After the game, he got Anthony Edwards like, yeah, you gonna get some Anthony Edwards shoes. You taking pictures with him or whatever. And so I commented and I was like, hey man, I don't really feel how this dude move, you know, when it comes to sports. You know, like even against when his own team lose and when a team in the city lose. Like if you with us, you with us. You don't go over there in their locker room because they
Right.
player had a good game. You don't let that be seen. You know what I'm saying? So dudes was like, man, get off his nuts, man. He could do what he want to. This man, look, like I told him, get off my nuts. You jumped on me. If that's what getting on this, if I'm on his nuts, then you on mine because you under my comment saying
Right.
worried about what my opinion is. You know what I'm saying? But that type of stuff. And I'm not dissing Michael Parsons. I still don't like the way he moved. I love him on the football field. I wish I could have did the shit he did on the field, but if you had my mentality, man, he'll be killing something.
Right. Right. I got you. So yeah, like I said, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. But just overall competition in state sports is vastly different than us. That's where we get into, and we probably can talk about it because I see a lot of old heads disagreeing with the young heads and saying we don't appreciate the state of the games right now. We need to look at it from a new lens. I seen Kevin Garnett talk about we used to looking at something from an old lens when they were playing basketball at a new lens, and we just got to accommodate ourselves to that. And so that may be something I need to just sit down and focus on and come up with pros and cons on both situations, and then we can talk about it on another episode and go from there. But just the overall status, me and you can agree that that's probably dead. It's over with now. and that what we grew up on. We probably ain't gonna get that no more. So that's probably why they created YouTube, so I can go back and watch old Kobe and MJ highlights. Because I find myself doing that more than I'm watching any of these new games, just based off of competition. I want to see people go with it. And the overall states of games right now is a little hard to find, and you might find it here and there, but and then in the playoffs. But other than that, you definitely can find it in the regular season. So, but yeah, we'll go ahead and conclude episode 2 of season 1 of Real Game Talk on the
Let me say
podcast.
this real quick. Just like we had to adjust the rap music and the way things have changed, it's everything in life, man. So we'll be all right. We'll adjust. We ain't got no choice.
I got you. I got you. All right. We'll wrap it up. Again, this episode 2, season 1, Real Game Podcast. You got Man and Willie here. We look forward to chatting up with y'all on the next episode, and we'll see y'all next time.
Hey, hit your follow me at DFW News. You can use on Instagram. Yeah, check us out. But what you got, Willie? Make sure you
Got you.
drop
So
your.
we put it up. I just recreated the brand. Right now, we got it at Laces and Legends. We got the YouTube channel, the Instagram coming to you soon. Hopefully, we can get that up and running. So as soon as I get that, we'll throw the subscriptions and the logos up on here. You guys can go on there and hit the follow button and get our subscribers up, and we'll go from there. Hopefully, you like the content. We'll continue to keep bringing sports content and a little bit of the culture and some of the stuff that we deal with as 2 black men out here living in Dallas Fort Worth area. Those kind of topics, but most of the time we're gonna keep it funky on sports. And as the name of the show is, we definitely gonna keep it real. We're gonna keep going from that standpoint always.
Hey, we 2 black men, right? So I just want to say this. Don't, because every time I get out in public or I go somewhere, people they like, oh, what you mixed with? I'm not mixed with nothing but my mama and daddy. Don't ask me if I'm Samoan. I ain't mixed with Mexican. I'm not Oriental. Hey, I just got some good looking parents, you know what I'm saying? So let's leave it at that. 2 black men, proud to be, and that's just what that is.
I got you, man. That ain't never crossed my mind, but I'm glad you cleared it up, man. I'll make sure we definitely get you a real clip like that so you get you on your page.
Yeah, man, I got to make sure, man. I don't need nobody thinking there's no faking or shaking, and you know what I'm saying? 100% full blooded. Let's go.
Gotcha. Understandable. We'll catch y'all in the next episode, man. Y'all have a good one.
Have a good one.